Every single day, I am who I say I am. And I get what I get because I live in beast mode. Stop being gazelles. You're not average. You're not even good. You were born to be great.
We keep it burning, baby.
What's going on, world? Welcome to another edition of the Secret to Success podcast. I'm your host, CJ, joined as always by the Bayesian sensation,
What it do, everybody? How
Mr.
y'all
Carl
feeling?
Phillips.
We
What's
out
going
here.
on?
Oh man, it's still freezing in Michigan. We had 70 degrees last week, but we back to 40s or something now. It's snowing tomorrow.
I know my next illustrious co-host is not dealing with those problems right now. And Dr. Eric Thomas, how are you, sir? How's the weather where you are, wherever in the world you are? Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
Oh, man.
Now you at Disney.
Oh, you missed the one. See, Mall of America last
Mall of
weekend.
America. Look, Mall of America. Now you at Disney, bruh. I mean, how are you able? Inquiring minds want to know, how are you able to keep the edge while you at Disney?
Feel me? Look, man.
You know what I'm saying, Carl? How you keeping the passion when you looking at Mickey Mouse and Goofy?
You feel me? Hey, man, let me just tell you this, man. Lady asked me, how was your flight? I said, uneventful. Uneventful, baby girl.
We landed.
You feel me?
That's what my pop said when you asked him how his flight was. He said, we landed.
Man, we landed, see, and I'm just super excited. You know, I was telling a group of kids at the Success Center series yesterday, you know, that for real, man, bucket lists are real and bucket lists come true, you know, and I try to give them, see, you know, first hope. You know, I think a lot of people come to this podcast, you know, and they're inquiring that, see, like, is it real? You know, we're telling you, have hope, have faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. We're telling you that by grace, man, it can happen, man. And so I'm just super excited to see, you know, for D and I to end or to transition, you know, from whatever, you know, the Lord is calling her to next from what she had been doing as a nurse all this time, home health, you know, breast and cervical, you know, I just tell people, man, like, yo, I'm excited about how we're able to do it. And I say we, because my kids tease sometimes and be like, oh, Mom, you know, you only make so. I said, man, have you lost your mind? Like, that's like saying my man who put up 40 points in the second half is more important than the dude that put up 42 in the first half. You know what I'm saying? Because you only watch the second half of the game. Like, you guys are old enough now, you know, to pretty much, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're old enough to be able to evaluate, assess, analyze, you know, where we are as a family. And so when they were able to see in their mind eye, they seeing, you know, Pops doing it. But they don't know when we hit Disney World the first time, bro, that was on Didi nursing money. And it was funny when we landed, Didi said at 45 years old, Didi said, yo, Eric, this is the first time I've flown into Orlando. She's like, I never flew here before. The 3 or 4 times we came, she was like, for the most part, we were, I think one time when we were in Savannah, but Didi was like, for the most part, you know, we drove here, you know, and so, man, what a blessing. And at least with our kids, for sure, we drove from Alabama, you know, here. So it's just, man, this on the flip side, see, and Didi was saying on the way here, you know, like, yo, it's a blessing to be able to enjoy the fruit of your labor. You know, some people, unfortunately, they don't calculate it right, see, and by the time they retire, you know, they're not either health-wise, they're not able to enjoy it, you know, or either, you know, other circumstances that don't put them in a position to be able to enjoy it. So, man, to be this age, you know, and still be able to work, we definitely, you know, not retired from work, but to be able to, you know, Dubai, you know, Mall of America, and, you know, the Make-A-Wish boy in here. Even I'm going to hit a school or two tomorrow and a church on Saturday, you know. But, yeah, we're going to enjoy ourselves while we're here, coming back next week. But, yeah, man, just super excited, happy that I'm able to honor Didi in this way. She put in a lot of work, a lot of grind in the beginning with just by faith. See, she didn't know we was going to get here. She left everything, came to Michigan on another dream I had. And I think it paid off, though, see. And I'm glad that with her mom and her dad, when I stood before them and said, I do, I'm glad I'm able to show them that it was, she made the right decision. See, no man is ever good enough for his daughter. You know how that is. See, but at the same time, I'm able to say, that hey, by the grace of God, man, we put in work.
Yeah, hey, Carl, I could think of 2 other people who sacrificed everything
Yeah, you took it from
and
me.
waiting to see the fruits of their labor. You know what I'm saying?
I was just going to
I ain't
ask.
seen the Mall of America, Dubai, or Orlando, and I too sacrificed. You know what I'm saying?
I was going to ask him, see if he saw us in any of his dreams. I'm not sure.
Apparently not. Apparently those were the nightmares. You know what I'm saying?
Not in my dreams, but I'm sure in your own personal dreams. Yeah. Hey, and according to calculation, y'all got about another good 10 years.
Hey, well, I'm glad to see you having a good time roaming the world.
Doubt.
While Carl and I, change diapers and try to keep our sons from killing themselves.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, we'll sit down here. Hey, am I tripping or have you ever or do you ever or when you, let me just say, am I tripping or when you get something stuck in your teeth, does it call for a national emergency? Let me explain. No, I'm being for real. Let me explain. The other day, this is a 2-for-1. For all of y'all listening, I got a 2-for-1. This first time in history. Write this down. It's the first time in history that we've had a 2-for-1 in my tripping. I got 2 in my trippings in the same one. Am I tripping or when you get something stuck in your teeth, everything stopped? Let me tell you something. When whatever happened, I had got a new feeling or whatever, and now I got like a new little slot where food could find its way. I got something stuck in my teeth so severe. I'm talking about I almost went to the ER. Like I'm about to go to the emergency room. I got something stuck in my teeth so bad. Let me tell you something. When you get something stuck in your teeth, I will leave a funeral, a wedding, a little kid's birthday party. I will leave whatever I'm doing to go get that out. Now, my problem is, am I tripping or every time you need your wife to have her big purse, does she have some small little wallet clutch with nothing in that thing? I'm telling you, the other day, we was riding the Stone Mountain. This is about a 40-minute drive. I caught something in my teeth from about 10 minutes in, and I almost had a panic attack and crashed the truck. Bruh, you know how you trying to wedge it out with your tongue, and then your tongue go numb, you start getting a headache? Like, it's almost like you in the Twilight Zone, Carl. I'm like, yo. So I'm asking my wife, like, yo, where is it? She got the little purse with her with nothing. The little, I'm talking about the little joint. You can't keep nothing but one stick of Wrigley Spearmint gum. I'm like, what is that? Boy. I'm like, where is the big old purse that you begged me to buy? Like, where is that joint when you need it? So am I tripping or for real? When you get something stuck in your teeth, is it the end of the world? And then 2, does your wife always play you? And like she can't hold you. You got your keys. Guys, we got keys, wallet, all kinds of stuff. We only got 2 pockets. You know what I'm saying? You ain't trying to just be bulging out. So you give them to your wife. I'm like, baby, can you hold my keys? I don't have that. My purse. Can you hold my wallet, my phone? Like nothing. Is that like not the most irritating thing to y'all?
Hey, a piece of, I want to tell you, a piece of popcorn got stuck in mine.
Oh no! Now a piece of popcorn, Carl, is for sure surgery. Like you can't even play with that. If you eat popcorn, bro, I'm talking about that is, you might want to take out a life insurance policy right there.
Yeah, no, you're not tripping on that at all.
My God, y'all think I'm playing. I hate it so much. I don't even eat popcorn, and I love popcorn. Like I won't eat popcorn. You go to the movies, doggone it, and get a kernel stuck in your teeth. You might as well forget the rest of the movie. I'll be like, I don't care what we watching, how good it is. We're going home. Where we going? We're going home. So yeah, no, I'm just waiting for them to make Carl a man purse that I feel comfortable enough carrying, because I promise you, I'm getting ready to have everything: gum, mints, floss, chapstick, Chick-fil-A sauce. You know what I'm saying? Birth certificates, passports. I got ketchup, hot sauce. I got everything you could imagine in my bag. My wife, I'm like, boo, every time I need the floss pick, where I went to doggone Rite Aid and bought just like a 70,000 pack and just dumped them in her purse. Like, yo, don't ever leave home without these. I need them, because it literally almost ruined my day. So glad to see I'm not the only one tripping on that. I had to get that out. It was the other day, like, yo, I had a panic attack. My head was hurting so bad. And then when you get it out, Oh my goodness. I mean,
best-
so,
next to the
you
best
almost
feeling
want
in
to
the
take
world
whatever that
possible.
substance was and like frame it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how you kill a fly that's been irritating you in your house forever? You don't want to just throw him right away. You want to look at him. You just want to embrace the moment that you got that little sucker. Like, that's how I feel, man. So,
Hey, we got to go back to the morning. She too loose at 5 o'clock in the evening.
no, my
He
bad.
too loose.
No, he good. Apparently, I ran into a couple people who said that they liked it. So I guess that's fuel to the fire.
Hey, I tell you, hey, go listen to another podcast. Hey, you want something deep? Either go listen to TGIM or go to another podcast. We gonna have a good. If I got to do this every week, we're gonna have a good time. All right. So, all right. Let me get to. With that being said, let me go. Let me transition into something a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Let me put my serious voice on. And you know, Tay didn't think about it, but they were like, yo, I finally got my business off the ground, and then boom, something happened to them too. And I was like, yo, isn't that life though? Like, and I wanted to see from you guys' perspective, like, why is it just me, or does it seem like every time you get some momentum or you decide to make a change, is it ironic, or is it, do you guys find it coincidental that every time you make a decision to make a change in your life, like something negative happens?
Carl, you want that? Who you want to take that, Carl? Because I got something for it, Carl.
No, yeah, I'm waiting to see you get your food order in. You know what I'm saying?
Right, get your food order
Yeah,
first.
make sure you got your Chipotle. We know. Did he know what you want to eat? All right, it ain't that deep.
Hey,
but
No,
this
jump in, E. Go for it.
no, for real, bruh. I was putting in work treadmill. It said I had almost 500 miles on the treadmill, Carl. I promise you, all I did was ask to get the belt adjusted for the maintenance boy. That it wasn't nothing wrong with it. It was just it was time for the maintenance and the oil that sucker. Bro, I promise you, after that, it worked for about a week. Since February, they've come back and serviced it 4 different times. Like, built a brand new treadmill, nothing. So I called the other day and they were just like, forget it, we're gonna send you a brand new one. But you're talking 6 weeks, bruh. I mean, I was putting in work, try to run outside, I'm just gonna be real. Running on concrete, I just can't do that as much as I can, the treadmill. And with the winter months, February is cold, March is still cold. I wasn't really trying to, pay for no membership for 1 month, but I'm being real, bro. I put in work, And as sure as I put in that work, this happens. And so I just had to find other ways, to make it happen. Going on the road, try to get a treadmill in here or there. When I'm on the road, try to increase, the walking, try to do the sit-ups, the push-ups. But I'm just being real, bro, and it hurts. It hurts when you get that momentum, because what happens mentally is like, yo, I shouldn't even done this. Like, I shouldn't even got started. But what I had to do to myself, was like, just say, E, you work too hard, bruh. And the cool thing about it is when that treadmill finally is fixed, like, don't fool yourself. You're not starting over from scratch. You know what I'm saying? Like, you built up enough momentum that if you get on a treadmill, you can still do about 45 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you built up your, like, you're conditioned enough. And so that's what I had to tell myself, because mentally my mind was like, E, come on, bruh. Why'd you do this in the first place? You put in all this work to start all over again? Like, come on, you back. I'm like, I'm not back. My conditioning is better. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't doing as many push-ups. I wasn't doing sit-ups 3-4 months ago. And so I had to just tell myself, like, yo, E, get through this. Once that treadmill come back, you're starting from a much better place than when you started in January. You're much stronger than you were. You're much more determined. You got an accountability group, and we're going to get back at it, and we're going to get to where we're supposed to be. And it might be another glitch in the road. But the one thing I've always told myself, and maybe every blue moon I've been able to get on the treadmill and run more than I thought, but 80% of the time, if I get on that treadmill and say I'm doing 5, I'm doing 5. If I get on and I say, well, I'm just going to do whatever, those are typically the weakest runs I do. So this is the same thing. I got to mentally tell myself, begin with the end in mind, E. Do not quit. Do not give up. You know what the end goal is. Let's get back at it, and let's make this thing happen.
You know what's crazy? You said something, and that's a good word. And it's funny because, y'all know Adam. I was talking to Adam one time, and of course, Adam is one of my dear friends in this world, and he runs a treatment facility for individuals who are in recovery from substance abuse. And I asked him one time, I was like, how do you gauge like success and failure, right? Like, is it basically when you look at your numbers, if somebody goes and relapses, then it's basically a failure. You know what I mean? Like, and he was like, not necessarily. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, think about it. If that person comes to me and they're at a 1 in terms of knowing how to cope with, using, in terms of, not using, and, having these skills and these tools, to go into the world with and not use, right? Let's say they build up these tools in this arsenal and they go out and 6 months later, they use, right? That now it's a setback for sure, but that person doesn't go all the way back to 0 or 1 because they still have those tools, right? So even though they relapsed, they might go back a couple paces, but they still have, the affirmations. They still know the 12 steps. They still know all of those things. So when they come back to the facility, instead of starting at a 0 or 1 like they did the first time, now they could be at a 6 or a 7 and that much closer to staying sober for the rest of their lives. And I thought that was deep. And what you just said kind of goes in line with that. But I think it goes against everything that the human brain tells us, right? Like when I look at, people and, you kind of judge your own tendencies and things like that. It's something as stupid as your brain will tell you, yo, we haven't been working out, so just eat whatever. So instead of being like, yo, I haven't been able to work out in 2 weeks, let me go on the most strict diet possible. Some kind of way your brain will tell you like, yo, you ain't been working out. You might as well go ahead and hit that pizza, that burger, because it don't make a difference anyway. Whereas when you're like healthy and you running and you active and all of that, like those are the times you like, yo, let me get a salad. Like I feel so good. And like, why is it that your brain kind of tricks you out of it? And guys, if you're listening, we're not just talking about health. We're talking about like, for real, you were supposed to write a book and you got a third of the way through that book and you got a tax bill from the IRS and it killed your whole momentum and you ain't picked it back up in 2 years. You know what I mean? And I think there's things like that, for entrepreneurs, for business people, for people's marriage, right? You hit a hurdle in your marriage and you just could never get that momentum back. And so I guess, how do you keep the right, or Carl, you too, when you run up against that, or when we, as a company or whatever would run up against those roadblocks, how do you have that mentality of, okay, yep, my treadmill's not working, but that doesn't mean I'm about to hit cake and ice cream every day because I can't work out. It's counterintuitive to what you really should be thinking. But I think the brain kind of tricks you into saying, oh, okay, for somebody, in that position, well, my treadmill's down and let me just start eating crazy because I'm down altogether and then I'll pick it all back up at one time. Like, why do we always have to compartmentalize in that way?
I think the biggest thing, and I'll say for me is, and I'm sorry to beat a dead horse, y'all, but it's just the people you're around. Like you just got 1 or 2 people that could tell you in your ear, like, man, quit whining. Like seriously. And it's always, what I hate? See, it's always real easy for me to tell you quit whining about something that you're going through. It's so easy. I could look at you and say, see, it ain't that deep. You know what I'm saying? But literally, it could take something that simple for you to just look at me and say, dude, like, I get it. The treadmill's broke or whatever the situation is. Like, okay, it's real. It's happening. But now what? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think you just need that person in your ear, that circumstance, or it could be some, if you motivated enough to just have a poster, music, something that is that thing that can get you back up. That's why you got to keep protect what goes into your mind, protect what you see, protect what you hear, because it's those things that could, when you're not there mentally, when you're not feeling strong enough, it's those things that can help push you back. But I think honestly, yeah, that right community could be that thing like, yo, E, let's go run. Like, you can't run right now, E. Like, I ain't doing nothing for the next 30. Come on. Let's get outside and run for 30. Like, you don't have no real excuse, E. I got a free membership at the gym that you could use for the next 30. You know what I'm saying? So there's things around you that if you keep that right,
I'm saying, so, BU, we got, Hector, Cynthia, we got a lot of people, who are running. You know what I'm saying? In the church now, TJ even trying to run, that's not his thing. You're seeing, Juanita run. I seen Chuck. I saw Chuck numbers the other day, bruh, and was like, whoa, I'm seeing, 6 miles, 5 miles. And so I think when you have these little milestones and then you have a community that is not just talking the talk, but they walking that walk, it holds you to another standard. So I just think, man, when you say, all right, I got to do this in January, I got to do this in February, I got to do this in March, you know, I just think that will help you when you hit those rough patches to say, oh, okay, you know, because we don't have what is that? The high school reunion is not every year. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't do a big one every year. We don't do a big family reunion, you know, every year. And so those are the things you wait for. Like, oh, I got a family reunion, I got to lose weight. Oh, I got this big event, I got to lose weight. You know, homecoming. But that's kind of rough, see, because homecoming is in, you know, whenever it is, at March, April, you know what I'm saying? And you waiting to January to get started. But if you have a goal for each month and you're beginning with the end in mind, you might not make January's goal, but you're like, shoot, I got another one in 30 days. Okay, I got another one in 30 days. Whereas if you don't have a goal.
Like, let me ask you a question. Does life happen around us all the time and we just take more note of it?
Yeah, that's a good question. For that perfect
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you look at us, see, stuff has happened. And I remember in the beginning, you guys might have been you know, like I said, I have, you know, I'm 12 years older. So, of course, you know, that 12-year experience. So when I remember when the first disappointment happened, it wasn't that I was more mature than you were. It's just I had already been through that. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I wasn't looking at these people made us a promise and they were going to give us so much money and that money was going to launch, whatever. I had been through 5 or 6 of those experiences. So for me, I'm looking at, well, yeah, we might have had a bank that, you know, didn't come through for us, but shoot, 5, 6 years ago, I didn't have somebody working as hard as CJ. I didn't have nobody working as hard as Carl. You know what I'm saying? Like, we weren't hitting all of these schools and we didn't have all these presentations and we weren't putting together, you know what I'm saying, Carl? So for me, y'all might have been looking at that one thing where I was looking at the 5, 6 things that were going positive. And so I don't think that we don't have our challenges now, but just think about it. We might have 1 or 2 snags a month. I had a snag the other day with trying to get the audio from Dubai. I must have sat in one spot for an hour, sat in another spot for an hour and some change. But for me, Carl, I'm looking at, shoot, we got almost 8,000 followers. So I think for us now, we have, 11, 12 people working for us, you know, and then another 30, 40 fans and loyal supporters who putting in work. So if we got 5 distractions, we still have, you know, another penalty, you know, whatever, interception, but see through for 600 and some yards. Carl rushed for, you know what I'm saying, 200 yards. You know what I'm saying? So when you are that successful, I think what happens sometimes, see, is that all of the blessings or the success like outweighs some of the negative stuff that happens. And that's why I tell people, don't tell me you've been doing it for a year. There's no compound interest in a year, see? There's no compound interest in 3 years. I don't think you really start looking at compound interest at least to 5 years. And that's like the lower level. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm looking at it as a speaker. Man, people calling us and we saying 100 grand. I couldn't say that 5 years ago. I hadn't built up enough compound interest in terms of, like you always say, see, my speech didn't change. I don't have a new message. I don't have a new passion or a new energy. It's just that we've gotten so many more videos out and we're that much more consistent that it's just compound interest. So I think for us, for those of us see who don't feel the brunt of some of life, is because we off into the compound interest of success.
No, hang on, stay right there, E. But I think, don't short us though. We feel the brunt. Like, for real, we human. So you feel the brunt. How you respond to the brunt is different. You see what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong. It hurt when somebody in my family died too. It hurt when somebody in my family gets sick, or, you know what I mean? Just like anybody else, I think it's how we respond to the brunt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Level, yeah, no doubt. I was thinking more like, you know, with what happened.
I'm just talking about life period though, bro. Somebody get hit with a $5,000 tax bill, that done threw your whole hookup off. You know what I'm saying? Like, just be for real. Like, real life things happening. I'm not even talking about little trivial stuff day to day that you could be like, oh man, it's annoying. I'm talking about big life things that happen, you know, that really can derail you if you don't have that spirit. And I think there's a lot of people out there, they make a decision, you know, like I said, I'm just thinking of the major ones. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to stop smoking. I'm going to, you know, get my health back, go start exercising, whatever those main things are, and you haven't, somebody who's been struggling with, being obese or whatever, and you finally make that decision, and then you break your foot or you hurt your leg or you hurt your back, and like the type of attitude that comes with that afterwards is like, yo, every time I try to get this thing right,
what's the
something
point?
happens. And so why am I even trying to get it right all the time? And I guess I'm asking you to tell those people who are at that point mentally where they're ready to make that shift, but then something happens and it's a setback. How do you withstand that brunt and keep going?
Yeah, well, I say this all the time, see, and I posted it this morning. We all gonna go through a dog fight, and me and you didn't talk today, so I didn't know this was gonna be the topic, But as I said, life is a dog fight, see. But it's easy to go in that ring and fight that dog when you know who and why you're doing it. So I'm being real. So if you losing weight for the high school reunion, I'm just not sure, see, how much of a motivator that is. I'm not really sure when you get punched in the face, how that's going to, but I'm guaranteeing you, I've seen people, see, come from other countries that barely speak English, that come to Michigan State to get a master's degree or a PhD, and they leave their family behind, see, and I see them going through it, but I see them getting through it, see, why? Because it's not the same for the kid that's trying to get his PhD, but his mama live up the street. You know what I'm saying? It's not for the kid whose mom got a job, dad's got a job, and he's doing this so that he can, go to the next level in his job. He can get a promotion or, he can get a raise. And I'm not saying that that's not of value. I'm not saying that's not of importance. But the dude who's doing it because his family's back way across the world and they're not eating, what I'm saying? His family don't have opportunities. They live in a place where it's just not a lot of opportunity. He's getting his degree and saying, yo, once I get this degree, I can bring my people to the States. I can get a job at a major university. I've seen it. Carl and I know a family who the husband came, got his 4-year degree, PhD. Wife came right after that, Carl. I don't know if you remember my man, African family at Bethel. My man came in.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
He came in, then his wife came in right after him, see, with the kids, and they both graduated, ended up getting a job at North Carolina. They both got a 10-year route job at North Carolina University, bruh. So now, of course, their kids are going to an elite school, and they all have an opportunity now to go to University of North Carolina. So I'm just saying, see, sometimes when we start these goals, what we don't understand is that what initially gets you started is important, but more importantly is what's the end goal? Because if the end goal isn't strong enough, we can all start. You know what I'm saying? We can all get the diet plan. We can all watch the stuff on TV. You know what I'm saying? We can all order the equipment. But you got to have that dog, see?
Yeah.
You got to have
and
that
I think
dog
that's the
to get
fun
to the
part,
next
right?
level.
Like that first, you going over your business plan, you like, bet, I'm about to do this, I'm going to do this. And like, that's the exciting part. And I think, you get hit with a couple jabs and then you get hit with that haymaker, it keeps you going. And I'm thinking like, for real, for us, it's crazy, Carl. I'm actually, we talk about it, but we're writing, the new book, 0 to a Million, where we kind of tell the second part of, Secret to Success, guys, was, mostly E's autobiography up until the moment, I guess, or the point in time where he met Carl and I, and now we're kind of writing that second wave. And it's crazy as I go through it, I'm like, yo, we had quite a few setbacks on the way to wherever we're at now. Like, yo, a lot of them. And, as I'm writing, kind of like things that we probably even forgot about are coming to me, and we're talking about it and kind of going over it. And so I think that's the interesting thing is that, you have, it's almost like, Carl, like imagine, how American Idol is, right? Mm-hmm. And you start off and it's like 10,000 people and they go through the first round and then it's like 1,000 left. And then it's like 500 left. Well, that's kind of like how, life is. Like, the first time, there's 1,000 people in the room and it's like, yo, all right, cool. Y'all not getting paid for 3 weeks straight. And then boom, you lose 500. You know what I'm saying? Then it's like, okay, it's not another check coming for another month. And then boom, you down to 250. All right, cool. Now your wife got sick. Boom, you down to 50. Your kids went to jail. Boom, you down to 25. And like life continues to throw those things. And the people who are left standing at the end are the ultimate winner. And I think that's the difference is like you look at all of these people with, the success stories and the things they have. I think, you talked about Cal Ripken. I don't know how many.
You just took that out of my head. See, I was literally thinking about Cal Ripken.
Great minds think alike for sure. Cal Ripken, you said it. My man paid 2,500 game, whatever it was. Yo, my man, I'm sure it was something that went wrong along those lines. And my man showed up every single day. And like you said, Cal Ripken never goes down in the conversation as like the greatest of all times because of his numbers or how many home runs he hit. My man goes down as one of the greatest of all times because he showed up every single day. Like, yo, there is a skill. Listen to me. If you're out there is a skill in showing up every single day, doggone it. Like, that is a skill and a talent all of in itself. And all that takes is that willpower. And so you talked about it with Cal Ripken, but how when you had those setbacks, and take us back before Hip Hop Preacher and all of that, like when you would have those setbacks, with whether it be with your father, all of those issues, how did you show up every day? Like tangibly, like tell people like, yo, like, did you wake up in the morning? Did you do affirmations? Did you pray at night? Like, what did you do to make sure that you still had not only the ability to show up, but show up and give 120?
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to beginning with the end in mind. See, like, yo, I knew what I wanted. And for me, it's like, yo, you can't let what's happening to you, stop you from reaching the goal. I always say, we all gonna go through pain. Get a reward for it. You know what I'm saying? We all gonna suffer. Somebody in our family is gonna die. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's gonna get terminally ill. We're gonna lose people, lose money, lose stuff. You have people that betray you, have people talk about you like a dog. People steal from you, lie on you, cheat. Like, it's real. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask this, E, and I don't mean to cut you, but I'm saying, like, let me ask this because, like, it's easy to say, but can you really prepare for that? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, life is gonna happen. Yeah. Can you really prepare for somebody dying? Or I mean, like C said. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think you can. I think let me say this. I'll never say, Carl, that you'll be ready for life's challenges, right? But we all know that the dude that prepares has a much greater chance of being successful than the dude that don't prepare. I mean, it is what it is. And so it was funny. Me and C was talking about how there are certain communities, Carl, that prepare their family's memorial years before it happens. Years, Carl. They got a will. They have the burial site where the mama, the daddy, where they want the kids buried. They paid for it. Everything is. But then you have other communities, Carl, that shy away from it because they fear it, like death. One group is like, yo, it's going to happen. We might as well prepare for it. Let me tell you something. The group that will be more devastated, Carl, is the group that didn't prepare for it. Because they're going to have to pay, they got to pay more when their family member died and they didn't go ahead and get stuff taken care of. Why? Because it's an emergency. It's doggone like it's death. So they can charge you whatever they want to charge. Like, you're in a bad place at that point. So we have to prepare for everything.
Are you saying we should be shopping for discounted caskets right now?
I am.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure how practical we going with this, Carl. You know what I'm saying? I'll call the funeral home. Look, now, can we get a 2-for-1 in case me and my wife go together?
Hey, you playing, but Sam has the 2-for-1 coffins, bro, while you playing. Buy one, get one free at Costco. Why you playing?
Of equal or lesser value.
Hey, so let me ask you this, Eda. How do you know that? Let me ask you that.
Yeah. Oh, my mother has a girlfriend who's in the business, and bless my grandfather. So yeah, and I'm not gonna get into all of that.
Man.
Yeah, but
they better not be recycled caskets where they bring somebody else joint to you after they go.
Hey, then since you don't want me to be real about it, we won't talk about it.
Okay.
But I
Come on, Carl. Quit being silly, man. Get back to the serious topic.
You good. Yeah, apparently, the audience wants both.
You know how he always be like, I'm a little bit older, so I don't have no play in me. And then as soon as he get around all of us, he be the main one playing. He's just trying to front for the podcast.
No, I'm just saying not for the podcast.
Okay, back to the 2-for-1 coffee.
We're serious, right?
Where were we? 2-for-1 coffee.
Right. So Carl, I did. I think, praying every morning, 3 o'clock, I think that's preparation. Not only praying, but also like mentally going through what could happen. And what I never told CJ about the situation with the bank, I never told CJ that I never thought it was going to happen in the first place. But it wasn't my And I didn't want to taint C, you know, because you see people do that all the time, Carl. They've been through a divorce, so they want to talk about marriage like marriage ain't blissful. You know what I'm saying? They want to talk about, like, I never forget the dude who said something to me about being an empty nester. He's like, how you going to be with your wife that long? You know, so I didn't want to do to you guys, Carl, you know, some of the experiences that I had where I heard people do a lot of talking and then with Showtime, they didn't come through. So that was my experience. But I was like, I'm not going to say nothing to C. So I never thought it was going to happen in the first place. But I did work as though it could happen. You know, I didn't go in with a negative attitude. I just was realistic. Like, yo, bro, I just don't see my man coming through. You know what I'm saying? It's just some signs. And I'm just not seeing him doing what he do. And then there were some other things I knew about the community. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, yep, I just don't see this happening. So while it might have been a disappointment to you guys, it wasn't a disappointment to me. I told y'all, I was a lot further with the two of you and the staff that we had from Michigan State, the volunteers. I was a lot further than what I was 3 or 4 years ago. And I knew I had the team to get it done. So I think also having people that you can talk to, see, you know, whether it's Dee Dee and I, you know, pillow talk and being able to say to Dee, like, yo, Dee, man, I'm and it's the thing I love about Dee Dee. While Dee Dee may not necessarily have always been the one that's like, okay, let's talk about your ETL, talk about your business. If there was a time though when I was like really struggling, she wasn't gonna be on that, you know, okay, I ain't feeling that. You know, she'd listen. I'd never forget, you know, talking about quitting the GD program and stopping doing some other stuff. And Dee Dee is like, come on, you can't, like all these years, even with, you know, the success series, and sometimes I'll be like, man, I ain't trying to do that. I'm not trying to go on that trip. And Dee Dee like, yo, why you not trying to go? I thought you was about that life. Like, it ain't about the money, is it? I'm like, no, but I got to do this and that. She's like, don't worry about me. I'm going to be good. Go. So having somebody you could talk to, see this ride or die, you know, I always had you guys. So no matter what happened, we were having worship every day. We were going out, you know, and traveling together. We would spend time with our families, eating, going bowling, you know what I'm saying, just doing our thing. So I think a strong support group is something else that's important. And then reading. A lot of people write about the stuff we've gone through, Carl, and they've had 20, 30, 40 years of experience. Movies. I watch movies. You know, I think movies are very inspirational, based on, you know, true stories. And you look at how others have been successful and how they've been able to get through some of life's tragedies and get on the other side of it, you know. And so, yeah, man, my mom, you know, I think all three of us have been known to pick up the phone and call our mom, you know, throughout, you know, our progress. You know, of course, I was older at the time, so like, you know, I had called my mom in the beginning of it, kind of talk some stuff through. But I remember when we first got started, you know, you guys would call your moms would be like, yo, how's this gonna work out? What's going on? So I think for me, man, and then just a church family, Carl, I feel like I've been blessed, you know, to have a strong church family. You know, when I was in Huntsville and then being here in Lansing, I felt like I had Chuck and Moni that I went to school with. You know, I've always had, man, a group of people who I've been able to call, LD, Lee Lamb, Joey. I've had, you know, other, you know, brothers, you know, the prayer line. I've had a lot of support, man. I think support is what can get you through it, a shoulder to cry on. And, you know, guys, I'm willing to be transparent and cry in front of you guys. And when it's warranted, it's like, yo, E, get that out. But when it's not, all right, E, for real, man, let's pick up and move on. You guys have had to pull me out of a rut, you know, before. It ain't like, you know, for those of you who are listening, you think ET is always strong. Like, I've had my dark moments, man, where I just felt, you know, the wall caving in on me, and these people who I love and I made promises to, and that we was gonna blow up and do whatever. You know, there was times where we were being attacked. You know, we had haters. We had people whose main goal, it looked like, their whole life's purpose was to try to give us a bad name and destroy us. And so I've had my times where I'm like, man, God, did I sell CJ and Carl a ghost story? You know what I'm saying? Was this real? Can we actually do it? I feel like we're at the end of the road. You know what I'm saying? Are you going to build another road, make another road, speak another road into existence? I promised their mom and their dad, you know, and it just looked like the weapons that are formed against us look like they prospering, you know, and they had to pull me out of that dark space and say, look, yo, E, let's go, you know, and come on, we can't afford to have you, you know, on the sideline. I'll never forget C saying, yo, E, throw a pitch and my man knock it out with a grand slam. What does he need to do? And I was like, I don't know. I'll go in the corner, the dugout, and cry. He's like, no, best thing for him to do is to get back on the mound again, you know, and try to get that no-hitter. So we need you back on the mound. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I just want y'all to know that those of you who are listening, like, yo, he ain't always, for real. I've had my, my moments now. I'm not gonna lie and act like I've been in depression, for months and years on end. But I had my dark moments, and where I felt like on everything, school giving up, marriage giving up, company giving up, church giving up. I don't think there's one area of my life where I've never had, a struggle. And I think you don't get to this side, see, unless you are determined that, this is not like this dark moment. The movie won't end here. The credits won't roll here. The chapter won't end here. This is a chapter. This is a scene. It's not over. I will not end my movie like this. I will not end my life like this. I will not end my book like this, And so we all have to just make that decision. But I think, see, when you're doing it for, Carlos, junior, senior, your mom, your brothers, Carl for, his dad, his mom, his wife. I think when you're doing it for others, the church that I was doing it for, Dee Dee, Jalen, Jada, my mom, my sisters, I think it's a little easier to get up, see, when your why is stronger than your pain.
Yeah, 100%, man. And I appreciate you being transparent with that. Like, wow, I'm sitting here like, yo, you took me somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like,
me
I'm
too.
like, I'm back right where we were, just, reminiscing on those days. And, I think that's what's so crazy. And I'm hoping that, people who are listening, I guess we got a little serious on this, but like, for real, you going through something. The first thing you need to know is that, you're not the first one to go through it. You're not the last one. And there are people who went through it and got through it. You know what I mean? Like somebody who really got through it. No matter what it is that you're going through, it's somebody that got through it before. And you talked about movies, every great story, movie, whatever. Like, I've never seen a sweet movie without no adversity.
Oh, some adversity.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was always like something about to happen, and then boom, you should come out. And so on the other side of that, and we put up that clip the other day. I don't know if y'all got the chance to see it, but if you didn't, go check it out. I had Nikki put it up on Instagram, but the Batman in London clip. And you said, I took this pain and turned it into a book. You know what I mean? Like, I wrote a bestseller off of this pain. And I'm not suggesting that you write a book about it, but I am saying your life is a book. Your life is a movie. It is a story. And, you choose how it ends. You know what I'm saying? And so for those of you out there that are going through it, like, it's a setback. It is not the end. You know what I mean? And I think the thing that is, so, I asked you guys that question, and, I'm not sure, I think you both agreed that it's nothing bad is happening when you make a decision. It's just that you notice it more when you're trying to get to that next level. But, it doesn't mean you start back at zero because you had a bad business partner, your business partner, cheated and stole money, and, the company was left flat broke. You learned a lot from that. So you only at a zero if you think you at a zero. You might have learned 50 new things that was going to help you for that next business. You know what I'm saying? Like, there were things that you learned along that process that's going to help you blow up on your next endeavor. But if you quit,
faster, say
faster,
that too.
absolutely.
Faster.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I love it. I tell people all the time, like, oh, see, yo, Carl, y'all genius. I'm like, bruh, imagine if y'all only got to see our sweetest moves. Like, y'all wasn't around for the bricks. You know what I'm saying? Like, we shot a whole lot of bricks, and now we found one sweet spot in the corner where we just Steph Curry, and everybody come out like, look at him shoot. We like, we sweet from right here. But it's only because we threw up so many bricks and we figured out where our spot wasn't. And so now we just on that spot and we shooting, man. And I hope the people, listening understand that, in your business, in your marriage, whatever, you can get that momentum back. And I tell people all the time, if you look at a hoop squad, it only take one person to get hot to bring a team back. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Curry and the Warriors, they could be down 20. It don't take everybody to start hitting threes from all over. Curry got hot by his doggone self and willed his team to a victory. And so you and your crew, real quick before we transition into Ask ET, I do want to ask you one thing, because I know, when I play devil's advocate, I'm always just trying to think of the people who are riding in their car who say, yeah, but. Right. And so I'm going to say to you two, one of the main pieces of advice that you guys gave that I think I have those people in my life. What if I am the only person leading the charge in my family or my community, and I don't have those individuals? Right.
Yeah, that's a bigger problem, see. Yeah, I'm saying that's a bigger problem. If you are that deep like you say you are, there's no reason you shouldn't have some people at your university.
Well, I'm not even saying these people saying they deep. These are some average, everyday, folk getting up, going to work, and they just don't have that kind of accountability system.
Okay, here's my thing then. If you're at a university, somebody should be there. If you're at a church, somebody should be there. There should be some support group. You got BU. Like, I'm just being real. See, like, maybe it's because you haven't reached out. Maybe because in your mind you keep saying, I don't have nobody. Maybe you should start saying, I'm gonna go find somebody. Like, what happens when you have no gas? You run out of gas on the side of the road, see, and the next exit isn't a mile, in a quarter. What do? See, do you just sit there and say, I don't got no gas? I don't have no gas tank. I don't got no money. And you got your family sitting in the car. What do? See, you find a way. You find a way to get gas. You do what you don't normally do because you're desperate and you need to get off the doggone side of the road and you need to get where you're trying to get to. So I'm saying to those people, not to be disrespectful, but find a way. It's not that it's not possible to get accountability people that I'm not a part of, that Carl's a part of, and vice versa with you, see? So I'm just saying, stop playing victim. You can get an accountability group. Even if you got to go on Google it. Jalen said something to me the other day, and his mom was like, come on, son, why you ask me that? You got a 4-year degree. She was like, just Google it. Without a 4-year degree, just Google it. And so if you don't have an accountability group, Google it and go and do some research and see if you can find an accountability group in the town near you. And the thing that I'm so proud about with Breathe University is that they started doing BU meetups in their own little area. They didn't wait for us to organize it per se. They started meeting on their own and saying, I see Seattle only had 3. And they came together. I see in Atlanta they were together the other day. Looked like they had maybe 7 or 8. I saw in DC they had about 20, 30. Now there's more people in that area, but those people were just like, we're going to create our own community. We're not going to wait for CJ. We're not going to wait for Carl to come to town, ET to come to town. We're going to do our own thing. So, see, I say don't play the victim. I think you can, if you seek diligently with your whole heart, I think you can find an accountability group that will really benefit you.
1,000%. No, I just wanted to make sure we got that last piece because, like I said, I know it's people who I run into people all the time. It's like, what if you don't have, what if you're the only one in your circle? You need to change your circle. To call on Sunday. People were just on there like, I didn't even have a question. I just wanted to comment and say this, organization, you guys changed my life with the calls, the training modules, the accountability, the energy, the fun that we have in this group. It's just changed their life. And so if you're looking for that next level of accountability, come join us at breatheuniversity.com. Y'all hear us talk about it every week. It's because we love it and we believe in it. Real quick, because I know, E, you got to go to Disney and ride the teacups.
You know I got to go.
Not the teacups.
You got to ride the teacup shoot.
Second time. I got 5 minutes. Y'all about to get me in trouble.
Let me see. No, we got to get to an hour. Our people going to kill us. We're going to get to an hour. Ask Diddy for 9 minutes, please.
Okay, got it.
You know what I'm saying? We got a long streak of an hour going. And I lost the question. Shoot, where did they go? Oh, no, I didn't. Sorry. Erica in Nashville said, when's the last time any of you cried?
Yeah, y'all gonna laugh.
I got
at me,
something stuck in my tooth on Sunday. I'm pretty sure I shed a tear.
I promise y'all, and it must be my Christian upbringing, but I promise y'all, I cry at probably almost every week at church. There's something at church almost every single week that'll get me. Now, I ain't gonna do the boo-hoo boy, but I'm gonna get like a little tear, at least in one side. I try to do the Denzel joint and not try to make it look too obvious. But no, when I just sit and think about my life, man, some of the stuff we just talked about, literally going. I remember preparing the presentation to go in there. First time I'm messing with Keynote with my page turn slide, see, and I'm going in there with the full expectation, you know what I'm saying, of something gonna happen. We gonna get this big deal and nothing happens.
Yep.
So when I think back of all those things and then to see where we are now, like we said, we ain't nowhere. We ain't gloating on nothing. I promise y'all, we ain't thinking of nothing. We looking to see where we could grow every single day. But when I sit back and think, and it's something every week at church, it reminds me of something in my past or something that just gets me to that point, man, where I'm like, whoa, this ain't something that you take for granted, man. So I'm talking about on a weekly basis, I get one out.
E?
Yeah, Hidden Figures, man. There was a part in the movie, man, where, the boss went off on her. Where were you? It's like every day for 40 minutes, you gone. Where were you? you know, and she just broke down and was like, yo, there's no bathroom for colored women. So I gotta run 2 miles a day to go use the bathroom. And I'm like, yo, I start crying, bro, because I just think about these young people that come to me, see that what do I gotta do to blow up? You know what I'm saying? Like, what I gotta do to be on the next level, what I gotta do to be the best rapper, what I gotta do to be the best actor, what I gotta do to be the best motivational speaker in the world, what I gotta do. And I'm like, you gotta do that. You gotta do that and not talk about it. She did it for months and months. See, hair getting wet, clothes getting ruined. She was running in high heels, came back and was expected not only to produce. This is a real story. This ain't nothing fake. This ain't no fairy tale. Like, this real, bruh. This was a real woman. This is real work, you know. And she came back, man, like, yo, I'm out here grinding. I got to use the bathroom, but if you give me a bathroom around the corner, I promise you. And I just broke down in tears, see, like, yo, it's people out here who doing they had to do some real grinding, some real hustling to get where they are. And while we have had to make some sacrifices, see, it ain't on that level right there, bro. So just brought me to tears, man. Just like, yo, and also that we are able to do what we doing because there are people throughout history who have grinded, who've handled their business, and they serve Pharrell, you know, and, you know, what he was able to do, man, they serve as inspirations, man. So yeah, that was the last time and I'm talking about Didi was like, stop, like, you crying too loud.
Yeah, I was him up, was like, yo, when you come on the show. So just to see his progression as a man, and, you know, coming to that next level of manhood was just deep, man. And to see him propose, you know, to Fat, and they just, you know, had a beautiful moment. I definitely cried. Last movie I cried at, though, I remember, I don't really cry at movies a whole lot, but man, I saw Hardball in the theater. And I cried when Lil G Baby got shot. I promise.
Oh, we all cried when G Baby got shot.
I was hurt, bro.
Jalen got a G Baby a jersey. Jalen got a G Baby jersey.
Oh,
yeah.
Man, that was my little dude, man. Remember when he came back as the little agent trying to negotiate his boy back on the squad? Yeah. That was my dude. All right, cool. Let's see. L in the Philippines said, what is your guys' favorite message ever from ET besides the Guru story?
For me, it's You Matter. You Matter is my favorite. And I think You Matter is my favorite because I remember hearing, I remember being at Quicken Loans. And I remember, you know, seeing the CEO of Quicken Loans come in there and tell, you know, a group of people, you matter, you know, and I was like, that's it, E, that's it. Like, yo, he was telling people, you know, who, and we ain't even talking about custodial workers. We talking about like the Slurpee machine guys, the vending machine guys. You know, he was telling them you matter, you know, and I was like, that's it. People don't know how important they are. People committing suicide, they don't get it. They don't see how important they are to people. They don't see how important they are to this world, that they matter. You know, like, I don't care how much money you're making. If you commit suicide or when you pass away or whatever, when you check out on life, that's affecting somebody. Somebody is hurt by that. And so I was just like, yo, E, you do all of this, you know what I'm saying? Like, but pull back a little bit now and let people know that they matter, bro. So to me, that was the one for me.
I think for me, it's I think I want to go with You All You. Of course, it's a bunch of them, but You All You, man. Like, it's so many people going through life, and we talk about it a lot, but like, you can't get past the fact that stuff happened to you. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of get stuck there, and it's real. Like, we talked about this whole episode. Stuff happens, but like, yo, like, you can't be that person to just stop there. Like, yo, you owe it to yourself. Like, don't get mad at nobody else because this ain't happened or that ain't happened. Like, your life is worth so much. It's worth too much for you to just be stuck at that excuse or that problem for a year, 2 years, 10 years, whatever it is. So that You Owe You, man, that's the one that I think got me.
Yeah, You Owe You is definitely one of my favorites. I guess, as you know, I'll be honest, you know, we do the shorter clips and stuff like that, but like, I would have to go to like full keynotes, you know what I'm saying, to like, really go in. But I'm sure there's some sermons and some other stuff. But for the ones that I know everybody's probably familiar with, I think Greatness Is Upon You will probably forever be one of my favorites, just because that was like, to me, that was a transition moment for E, where he felt like the weight of the world and that responsibility in a good way on his shoulders. And it came out when he said, you know, I'm that new guy, you know what I mean? And, you know, I just felt like he just owned it right then. Like, yo, this is, you know, it's my era, you know what I'm saying? And like, you know, I told you, we had that conversation on the way to Auburn to speak to the football team. And I told E, like, yo, you are this generation's, you know, whatever. And to see him spaz out like that and just snap was like, whoa. So when I see that greatness is upon you, and I hear that music start hitting, man, it like sends chills up my spine every time. So I would say that's my favorite. Last question, and we'll get E out of here. I know y'all got to go to the Cheesecake Factory or Chipotle or Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A or one of them.
one of them joints. Let's see, one easy one. Sebastian in LA said, have any of you ever been starstruck?
Not for a long time. My very, very first person that I saw, LL Cool J. We were on a flight coming back. This is literally, I was coming back to go to school from Barbados. This is years ago, probably like 2001 or something like that. And he was sitting like the last seat in first class, and I was like the first seat behind that. So I could see him right across. And I was like, yo, and I think what it was for me, my man was huge. Like his arms was just like humongous. So I'm sitting there like, yo, that's LL1. And then like his arms could like it looked like one of my legs hanging off my man's shoulder. So I think that was it. Like, but I think there and then too, like walking off the plane, I'm like, yo, I got to say something. That's LL. Like, so I walked off the plane. And of course he was ahead of me and I kind of walked fast. I was like, you know, trying to play cool, like, what up, L? You know, I'm trying to put my little deep voice on. And he was just like, I think he made it cool for me. He was like, yo, what's up, man? You good? And he just kind of kicked it with me for a couple seconds like it was nothing. And he kind of killed it for everybody else after that. I was like, yo, they're regular people. Like they, and the fact of how he responded to me, like I wasn't blowing my man up. I ain't asked for no autograph. I ain't asked for no photo. I ain't asked for nothing. Just like, yo, what up? You good? Everything straight? Man, appreciate you. Love the work that you had, you know, your body of work. And I just kept it moving. And from that day on, it was it. I ain't starstruck no more at all.
Hip hop preacher.
I was just trying to think, man. I didn't get to meet Michael Jackson before he left. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That you talk about starstruck. Lord have mercy.
I didn't get to meet Mike. Hadn't met Michelle or Barack yet. So yeah. But I guess I might say Maya Angelou. We had a couple people like, you know, Maya Angelou level come to the university when I was there and speak. Had an opportunity, to do the smile, the pick boy, and then President Clinton.
Yeah, it's crazy for me. I think, this line of work has allowed us to meet a lot of really cool people. And there's people who I've been honored to meet, but never really starstruck. And I think I told y'all, it was weird. Recently, I got a little starstruck. I can't even front like I was super cool. I was in the airport and I had my headphones on. And in college, like 50 Cent used to be my alter ego in 2001. Like when I was in college, my freshman year, me and Chris in the dorm, like we just played 50 Cent all day, every day. And so 50 was like a little alter ego for me. Don't ask me why, but I just used to rock with 50 heavy. And I was in the airport in Atlanta. This was probably like a couple months ago. And I was chilling. I was doing my thing. I was in, Delta, you know what I mean, in the fast lane. And I was standing in security just waiting. I had my headphones on. It was like a late night flight or something. And I remember I was standing there. You know, you feel somebody walk up behind you, but I had my headphones on. So, you kind of lose, some of your perception and all that. And I turned around and 50 Cent was like, I'm talking about like within arm's length of me, like looking right at me, was like, what's up, bro? You good? And I just looked at him and was like, yeah, what up? And I turned back around with my headphones on and I was like, yo! Like, I ain't even gonna front. I was like, yeah, like, I think like it'd have been different if I was like with somebody and we was going to meet him. I don't think I would have been so starstruck, but like, I literally turned around and my man was just right there. He was cool. He's like, yo, what up? You good? I was like, oh, I'm good. You all right? I turned around, tried to play cool with my headphones on, and I just remember being like, yo. I want to turn around and be like, yo, what's good? I was like, no, I'll just be cool. You know what I'm saying? And I think, for me, man, I always want to make sure, I want to keep grinding until, we don't have to introduce ourselves. You know what I'm saying? To where, they know who you are. So I just let my man have his piece and was like, yo, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? So that was it, man. Tell Didi thank you. I think we got to close to an hour. Yeah, I know our people, man. They hate when we go short. Anytime we go shorter, they like, man, why y'all cut it? So tell D we appreciate that. Give us a short, quick, a nugget of the day, and we out of here. Or don't. Carl, give us a nugget of the day.
He texted us at his phone.
No. You give us the nugget of the day. No,
me?
Just roll this out. Yeah, we ain't editing this nothing. Like, roll it. He gone, forget it. Give us the nugget of the day.
Hey, no, nugget of the day, I got you. Nugget of the day, man, is for real. I'm going back to the video I said, you owe you. Like, all the circumstances in life are not stronger than you are. Like, you here, you know what I'm saying? Like, you've made it this far. Like, not to be cliche, but you talk about the odds of coming out of the doggone womb. Like, the odds are 1 in millions, and you here. You know what I'm saying? And you're not the only person that's going to go through some stuff, man. So we talked about it before, but look for whatever help. I'm talking go church, community, like golf, whatever you got to do. Basketball team. Just find somebody out there that, you know what I'm saying, that you can talk to when something's going on, but you cannot afford to quit. Like, you got too much skin in the game. You got too many people that need your story when it's done. Because at the end of the day, it's not even about you. It's about the other people that you can help, you know what I'm saying, once you overcome this thing, man. So you owe it to you to get this thing done, man. Hey, don't put me in this lane again.
Hey,
I'm gonna
I
try
was
to
just
give
about
what
to
I
say,
got.
yo, 2 things. One, I like being on the podcast without E. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I got more space to think.
More control.
You know what I'm saying? 2, that was a fire nugget, and we may not even need E to do this podcast anymore. He just, now, how he texted me and said his phone died. Okay, because when your phone dies, you can't text, if I'm not mistaken.
You
So
know,
he texted me and said my phone died. So I'm not sure
didn't
what
think
to
it
make of
through.
that. But
it wasn't DD's phone. It was E's phone.
No. From his phone that he was on, that we called him from, he said his phone died.
We might have to ban E from a podcast, yo.
Yo, I'm straight. I'm like, let's do another hour, bro. Like, I'm ready to go now. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? You know how, like, you got a ball hog? It's like having Iverson on your team, and all of a sudden he don't make it to practice or the game, and it's like you get to shoot as many threes as you want. I feel like just opening up the court and just firing from deep. You know what I'm saying? So, nah, man, we gotta, we definitely gotta run, but we appreciate everybody looking out for us, man, with those reviews. Carl, we jumped up to like 1,000.
I saw it. We got over that 1,000,
something like that. And I was geeked up, man, because we were trying to get over that 1,000 mark for a minute. So shout out to everybody who went and left us that review. That was big time. And we push now towards 2,000. So go on and leave a review. Great podcast. As always, man, and do us a favor. Go leave that review, man. We got mad love for y'all. Carl, what you got up for the weekend? Anything?
Man, we just doing like snowing the 7th and